woven into America's struggle for independence and our nation's founding, are among the most legendary men and women of history. Sprinkled within the great tales of the American Revolution are stories that serve as iconographic symbols of patriotism. I'm standing before the home of Betsy Ross, America's most beloved seamstress. The legend of Betsy Ross and the nation's first flag was popularized years after her death. Her descendant, William Canby, stood before the Historical Society of Pennsylvania in 1870 to testify that his grandmother, Betsy Ross, did indeed stitch America's first flag as requested by George Washington. Canby further claimed Ross redesigned the flag and included 5 pointed stars. Though he could not find much on record at the state archives, Canby brought supporting affidavits from Ross's daughter, granddaughter, and niece into evidence. Most historiographers have disputed the affidavits as anecdotal. Elizabeth Griscom was raised in a strict Quaker home and society. This is the meeting house where young Betsy worshiped. After receiving some education, she trained as a needleworker and upholsterer, but it was Elizabeth's rebellious spirit that led to her destiny as Betsy Ross, America's patriot seamstress. Against the wishes of her Quaker family and community, Betsy dared to fall in love with an Episcopalian named John Ross. They soon eloped to Hugg's Tavern in New Jersey, where their wedding took place. Once ostracized from the Quakers, Ross and her husband joined Christ Episcopal Church and began an upholstery business, contributing their talents to the cause of independence. For as fortune would have it, Betsy's expulsion from the Quakers granted her not only the impetus for her business, it led her to Christ Church and the acquaintanceship of George Washington. Sadly, John Ross was killed during an explosion while guarding the Continental Army's ammunition in January of 1776. Later that spring, Betsy claimed to have met with Washington, George Ross, and Robert Morris, who oversaw the Continental Navy. The gentleman entrusted the seamstress, who sewed and mended uniforms for the Continental Army, with construction of the flag. Betsy took on the challenge, improved upon the flag design, and added the 5-pointed star. The recent widow continued to support the war effort and went on to marry twice more. In 1834, 1 year before her death, Ross presented her close friend and fellow Quaker, Samuel Wetherill, with the very first 5-pointed star pattern she had created. Until recently, the star was on display at her former Free Quaker meeting house nearby her home on Arch Street. Despite the friendship between Ross and Washington, Wetherill's star, Canby's testimony, and the affidavits he provided, most historians, including George Henry Preble and David Eggenberger, discount the evidence as unconvincing and anecdotal. There is no unequivocal proof that supports either contention for or against Ross, but her legend continues. Betsy Ross remains a powerful homespun symbol of patriotic service and a heartwarming American icon.